All right, we're back with the Flash after a week's break, and after a week away from the Flash, we get more filler. Was it worth it to wait a week for filler? Well, this was better than the last one, but if the trailer for next week's episode indicates anything, look, this is the last season. I'm talking to you, Eric Wallace. This is the final season of the show. Why are we wasting time with bullshit filler episodes? We don't need it. You could have expanded the Red Death arc to about 7 episodes, and then the other 6 could have been the last arc. You did not need to put filler. There's going to be 4 filler episodes in total, because apparently episode 9 is filler as well. Although it's the one where Oliver Queen comes back, so I don't know how fillerish it could be. It might be one of the best filler ones, but it just, you don't need it. And I've said before, the filler episodes can work if they put some story elements. Story stuff they're putting in there. One, character development for Dreamer, who was on Supergirl, and thus we couldn't care less about because she's not on The Flash. Character development for Iris, that works, but it's the same lesson she learned in the first episode, which was pretty much filler itself, where they were kept going around in a time loop. And then the next episode trailer shows them, Barry and Iris, stuck in a room they can't get out of. Could you not think of decent plots to fill these fillers? Just expand the main plots. Like I said, this episode was better, but overall it's filler. There's character development for Keone, although they're not. The character development we should have is explaining more about her powers, but instead, we spend most of the time with her in this episode with Mark trying to make her Frost. Been there. Didn't work that time. Why are we trying it again? Hello? Why are we retreading plot lines? Mark should have already learned his lesson, but because he had a dream about her doing sexy times, he now thinks he can make her Frost again. Somehow. So, yes, this is the one that Dream was coming back. Okay, so there was some things when they announced stuff was happening. I'm hoping episode 9 is not going to be a big disappointment with everyone who's coming back in that episode. I don't know. Because they announced Dreamer was coming back. I was like, okay. And then they put her in a filler episode that really doesn't do anything. He's not really a bad guy because what's keeping them in the dream is not really a bad guy. So it's not a villain. So, yeah, talked about this before. That weird hooded figure in the trailers. Oh, could it be our final villain? No. It's the original Dreamer that only Dreamer can see. So, yeah, look, like I said, I like this episode better than the other filler, but this was just filler. There's really, yeah, like what does this do? All right. So the whole story of this is that Iris is writing this article, and uh, the article. Allegra comes in and says, I have a perfect title for it, Nightmare Under Red Skies, which is what Barry's future book told her was going to be the name of her Pulitzer Prize winning uh, article. So this restarts her whole dilemma from the first episode, where she didn't want to follow that book. So now she's questioning whether or not she should publish it. Didn't you learn your lesson? You have to accept this stuff. Like you and Barry made a deal. We're gonna make decisions together, but you pretty much just followed. And yes, I know that Nora or their baby is technically months early, but this article, it's gonna happen. She's gonna get her Pulitzer, And I said this in the review for the first one, I think, but you have to follow this book because 9 seasons, 8.5 now seasons of the Flash have taught us anything. It's that you cannot mess with time. It makes things worse. The fact that she keeps pushing back on destiny is not a good thing. And I thought she had learned that lesson after that episode because everything's just going just fine. And she got pregnant early, which is fine. That's different, but she still got pregnant. It could be different. I have a weird feeling because they keep calling the baby Nora that something else is going to happen. I don't know. They keep calling it Nora, baby Nora, baby Nora, baby Nora. It could just be me, but it feels like a little too much. Calling it that is going to jinx something. People keep saying that, oh, I want it to be twins. It's going to be Dawn and Dawn. Look, we're past that. There's no Dawn and Dawn. We know Nora still exists because we've seen. It's not really a spoiler. We know she's coming back. It was announced. She's in the finale because, of course, she is. Bart is not because the actor Jordan Fisher, he has other engagements, other stuff. He does Broadway stuff and theater stuff, so he was busy. People will get all pissed that he needs to come back. It's a final season. He has other things, people. Let him do it. But back to Iris, okay? They showed the headline and she had a look on her face. I'm like, what? I'm like, was that the name of the headline of the original article that she did back? No, it's the one that she's supposed to win the Pulitzer for. And then she's like, maybe I need to do many things. And I went, really, woman? You still haven't figured out you have to let this happen? Okay, this is my opinion, but everything that's in that book, she has to let happen the way it's supposed to happen. I've said this before. You don't mess with time. Any more pushback, like if she keeps pushing back on this stuff, eventually it's going to pass it by. She's going to miss something, and then something's changed. She needs to just, accept it. Okay? She needs to accept it. I know she had the whole thing, we need to make decisions together. But, yeah, you need to accept this stuff, because this is just... And I don't like the fact they're rehashing stuff they should have figured out before, like the first episode. She wouldn't accept the fate, and so she was going... That was part of why she was going in a loop, because it's never really explained otherwise. It kind of is, but that was part of why they're going in a loop, and then she sort of accepted it. They have to kind of... She kind of changed the expansion the way that it went, but this is a Pulitzer. You can't really change it. You can't really write a different article, because that would be in Mark using that, whatever article she writes. It should have been more about, instead of, should I write this? It should be, oh, am I sure this is what I want to write? Is this what gets me the Pulitzer? Or, she should have been nervous. She should have gotten more, withdrawn and be like, I don't know. Is this Pulitzer Prize winning? Is this what's going to do it? Should I change it? Get nervous. And should she change it? Should she make it different? Or is this the way it is going to win the Pulitzer? That sort of thing. But no, it's all about, should I do it? Should I send it in? Or should I just forget about it? It's like, no, you have to send it in. Whether you ate a little bit, nothing, you have to send it in. And in my opinion, she should keep it the way it is and just send it in. Or publish it. Actually, publish it is what it is. And then, yeah. Nia's role in this is, I don't know. What was the point of bringing her back? Like, this episode as a whole, you could take this episode out, other than a few character development things with Mark and Keone, wouldn't matter. You could just have her publish it, and that'd be it. The Keone and Mark thing. So, dreams are the subject of today's episode, because it starts with Nia having a dream where Iris dies. She wakes up says later she went into the dream to try to, increase her powers, get stronger. She decided to do that in the middle of jitters, in National City jitters. Why? I don't know. And then we see Mark and Keone in the lab, and she gets her ice powers working on it. That's a little too quick. But turns out it was a dream because they start to get sexy time. And then because of this dream, he decides, I need to make her more like Frost. What? We're going back on what he should have already learned. The Frost is gone. And now at the end of the episode, he's like, I need to do this on my own. I need to be out there by myself. And I need to figure this out alone. And so he leaves. I'm just like, what? Again, we know he comes back because we've seen sad photos from the final episode. So we know he comes back. Spoiler alert, But just gone. And it ends with all the food on the table, all that food they're having at the brunch or whatever, freezing over because she's sad. No, that's not how it works. Because you already shown us when she's sad, it rains. So why is it now ice? That makes no sense. I don't know. It confused me. Like you ruined the food, and why is it ice? Shouldn't it be? Because the last time we saw she was sad, it was raining outside until she got happy and then it stopped. So why didn't it just start raining? Why is it ice? Is it because it's related to Mark? I don't know. I notice I haven't started talking about Nia really, because really, I don't care. Like, she's not a Flash character. We're probably never going to see her again within the context of the show. So what was the point? To confirm that she had the brunchin with the, with the not Batgirl and Kara, and I would have rather seen Kara or Brainy. By the way, I didn't watch the last season of Supergirl. Apparently, Brainy and Nia got back together. Great for them. They never should have broke up. But yeah, it's a whole thing for her to give up control so she can get more power. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, she has to give up control to get more powers. Or increase her power. I don't know. I really, that whole thing just went over my head. I don't understand it. Like, she's trying to take control, and it wasn't working. It was making things worse. So she has to give up control. So basically what I was saying, like with Iris, she should just let it happen. And that's what this is like. I don't know. And then, like, I'm wondering, is this mystery villain, is it going to be revealed to be second part villain? No. It's this original dreamer. And I went, okay. I don't care, but okay. Like, I had a feeling, and I'm like, they've been building this up. This was in the trailer. It's going to be nothing, isn't it? What I was afraid of was, this is a dream. It's just going to be another version of her. Technically, I was right. It's another dreamer. But, yeah, like I said, this episode wasn't bad. It just unnecessary. Like, this is the final season. I keep saying this. Why are we focused on bullshit episodes? I'm longing for the final arc. Why do we have to have filler? And 2 fillers left. 2 fillers left. You know what's going to happen? We're going to have 2 more fillers, and then let's say we're going to have a 2-week break. After episode 9, they're going to give us another break. I bet you anything. That's what's going to happen. And then we have to wait 2 weeks for the final arc. I don't know. If I was running this show, I would put out an edict that says no filler. We have to have everything connect to a story. And while we are pushing forward Keone's story, we still know jack shit about her. Despite all the development in this episode, it doesn't explain anything. It explains nothing at all. She has ice powers when she's sad, except for we saw before when she's sad it rains. So why is it ice? Only thing I can think of is connection with Mark. Although my theory about how they have to be together is now out the window because he's not there, unless he's still standing outside. I don't know. It frustrates me because, as I've said many times to you now, it's the final season and we shouldn't have to spend it on bullshit filler episodes. Okay, this was better than the last one, but not by much. Okay, it's filler. In its simplest, purest form, it's filler. And we need to stop. You know, think of Superman and Lois. Okay, I've been watching that. We're in episode 3 now. Last night. Okay? And there are 13 episodes. And I've noticed this with the last couple of seasons as well. All the episodes, while not everything is full, they make sure to connect to every single character on the show. And each episode has some kind of through line that connects to the overall story. That's what Eric Wallace's problem is that he decides we're going to spend it on little stories. And so we only have 5 episodes of one, bullshit filler, and then 6 episodes of another. So, 10, 11, 12, 13, 4 episodes. And really, like I said, why can't we just have, the last arc? Okay, so how about this? 6 episodes for the Red Death arc, 6 episodes for the final arc. I'm hesitating to call it what it is because I don't want to spoil if you guys don't know. The final arc, and then 1 bullshit transitional episode in the middle. Like maybe the one where Barry and Iris go on a vacation, and you do the one from last week, or maybe not the one from last time because that sucked, but that one filler, even if it was the one from the previous episode from this, would be worth it if the next episode would start the new arc. But it's not. We just have filler, and it sucks. And it's just Eric Wallace's filler episodes because the prior seasons, I watched all the seasons. When there was filler before Eric Wallace took over, at least they were still adding stuff around it because it was continuing one continuous story, right? And even some of the earlier Eric Wallace stuff had some kind of connective thread. But now, I think it's since last season or season 7, when there was this filler, it's just bullshit filler, and it just didn't. Probably gonna complain next week too, so get ready for that. But I'm done complaining. I can't anymore. It's the final season. We don't need filler. Like I said, if they were giving us more character development, why not, instead of the stupid dream bullshit, get rid of that, have a whole episode centered on figuring out what Keone is. Like, they all get together and try to figure out what's going on with her. You have Chester running tests, which is what was supposed to happen before Mark took her away. When they're like, okay, it's Chester's turn to babysit, and we can, run some tests and stuff. I'm like, good, we're going to figure out what's going on. And Mark's like, hey, you know what, I can take it. I'm like, what are we doing? We need to run tests to figure out what's going on with her. Why is she going around doing all this stuff so Mark can learn a lesson he should have already learned? Why are we retreading? It just doesn't make any sense. We retreaded 2 separate storylines in the same episode. Iris's storyline, where she should learn by now she has to follow that book. And then his storyline, where he should know by now that Frost is gone. And I'm the one that keeps saying Caitlyn's not dead. I don't think they would end the series without Caitlyn coming back. Especially since they're not going to be able to get Cisco, because apparently he's not coming back at all. But, yeah. I gotta go. I can't anymore. Said it before, but I still kept going. What are your thoughts on this episode? Leave in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.